Hello everyone! Last week Nvidia released an updated driver that changed the efficiency of GPUs, including the 40 series cards. Today we are testing DLSS 4 and the updated frame generator in Cyberpunk 2077. This is Rostislav speaking, and we've got a lot to discuss. The main questions are obvious. How good is the new technology? Is the frame generator really useful? And has the 40 series turned not actual anymore? The tests were conducted at 4K and 1440p resolutions. We'll look at the results with and without various ray tracing and upscaling modes. A quick disclaimer. In this video, I'll be using the term DLSS 4, referring specifically to the image upscaling technology. The 4000 series GPUs have received an improved version of DLSS upscaling, an updated ray reconstruction algorithm, and a more efficient frame generator. A few words about the test setup. The system is built on AM4 socket using an MSI B550 chipset motherboard. The AMD Ryzen 7 5800X3D processor is cooled by a Xilinx LQ360 AIO. 32GB of DDR4 HyperX RAM runs at 3200 MHz, with timings 16, 18, 18. The GPU is an RTX 4070 Ti Super MSI Ventus 2X running at stock settings, no overclocking or undervolting. The system is powered by an MSI 850W PSU and runs Windows 11 23H2. Applications and system are installed on two separate 1TB SSDs. Gameplay footage was recorded using OBS and monitoring was handled by FPS Monitor. Since no capture card was used, you should add from 7 to 10 extra FPS to the recorded results. Let's check key differences between DLSS 3 and DLSS 4. In short, DLSS 4 uses a new neural network model called Transformer, while the previous upscaler was based on convolutional neural network (CNN). The new version doubles the number of processed parameters and redesigns the algorithm, significantly improving image quality and stability. It also enhances ray reconstruction and DLAA anti-aliasing quality. How does this work in Cyberpunk 2077? A common complaint about DLSS was blurry and unreadable text on textures and moving objects. For example, look at this police car. The text is smudged and pixelated. Enabling the transformer model fixes this issue, reducing ghosting and texture flickering. Small distortions still exist, but they are much less noticeable. Even with a high bitrate recording, I recommend trying this mode on your own system, as YouTube compression may not fully capture the details. Now let's go to the tests. A quick warm-up. Can you guess the resolution and settings used in this footage? Pause the video and leave your guess in the comments. If you picked 4K, give yourself a plus. Here are full settings. 4K resolution, path tracing enabled, DLSS performance mode, and frame generation is on. Frame time remains stable at approximately 20 milliseconds, and the average FPS never drops below 60. This is the mode I personally use for regular gameplay. Without a capture card, the real FPS is around 70-80, with dips to 65 in demanding scenes. What about the card's optimal resolution? At 1440p, with no upscalers or ray tracing, the GPU outputs 45-50 FPS, with RAM usage approximately 9 GB. Enabling frame generation boosts FPS to 80-90. Yes, the 40 series still use their older frame generator, which adds only the interpolated frame, but Nvidia has improved it slightly. As long as real FPS stays above 40-50, there are no noticeable input lag issues. Everything remains smooth and responsive. What about ray tracing? At ultra ray tracing settings, no DLSS, no frame gen, FPS drops by 20. Average FPS about 35. To fix this, we can enable DLSS or enable frame generation. This pushes FPS past 60 in any scenario. How does DLSS increase performance? In 1440p, the FPS difference between each DLSS preset, quality, balanced or performance, is about 10 FPS. However, we hit a CPU bottleneck, possibly due to screen recording, or perhaps the 5800X3D isn't enough to fully load the GPU. If you have a faster CPU, your results will likely be even higher. VRAM usage about 12 GB. RTX 4070 Ti Super does well at 1440p, but for 1080p it's overkill. For high refresh monitors, frame generation is worth considering. In any upscaling mode, 100 FPS is achievable. With DLSS performance mode, FPS climbs to 145–150 FPS. VRAM usage exceeds 12 GB and GPU load is near maximum. Generation is on, FPS stays above 60 in all modes. However, turning off frame generation cuts FPS in half. DLSS quality mode gives us 35 or 40 FPS. DLSS performance mode gives us from 50 to 55 FPS. And what about full path tracing mode? In DLSS performance and frame generation enable, FPS range from 70 to 80. Frame time remains above 20 milliseconds, but without major spikes or stutters. Final thoughts. The RTX 4070 Ti Super performs surprisingly well in Cyberpunk 2077, even with path tracing. The new driver and DLSS 4 have definitely helped, allowing everyone to find their own balance between quality and performance. At 4K, the GPU struggles, and a more powerful chip is needed. But, thanks to better upscaling algorithms, path tracing is now a real possibility at this resolution. Of course, artifacts still exist, but they are far less noticeable. You might need a magnifying glass to find them. DLSS performance mode is also much better now. I used to avoid anything below quality, but the new improvements make it nearly indistinguishable. Even on YouTube, you probably won't see a major difference between quality and performance presets. The FPS gain, however, is substantial, from 15 to 20 extra FPS in the heaviest scenarios. At 1440p, the 4070 Ti Super is unstoppable. One last thought. If you are buying this card for 1080p gaming, think again. Maybe it's time to upgrade your monitor, or perhaps choose a more budget-friendly GPU instead. Thanks for watching. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, hit like and share this video, it really helps the channel grow. In the next episode, we will look at Indiana Jones or Wukong. Vote in the comments. See you next time.